Hello, one and all. Here's Paul Scorpin, and I'm here on a very warm day here in southern Germany. Extremely warm, actually. Just to tell you that I'm about to offer a course in English that I've been offering all summer in German over 10 evenings. And it's a very touchy and timely subject to talk about because it has to do with trauma and being traumatized. And some of you may know me because I'm known as a healer, and I'm also known because I had the great fortune of spending the last 7 years, 6 years of life with the great healer and teacher Dasklos on the island of Cyprus in the Mediterranean. And since he passed over in 1995, I've been working as a healer and a teacher myself. And I was encouraged by my wife to offer these evening courses on trauma in German. And to tell the truth, I was not totally open for it. I didn't think it was popular, and I didn't think it was that necessary. But it allowed me to go do some deep research into sources of trauma. And it's actually quite astonishing how traumatized each one of us is, actually. And there's a lot of sources of trauma, lots. We even talk about pan-generational trauma, which goes back in the Bible, according to the Bible, 7 generations. But actually, it's proven by science that it goes back at least 10 generations. It goes back at least 500 years, if not longer. And it's stored in our DNA, and it's stored in our cell memory. That means we're actually experiencing trauma from our ancestors who were not even aware what they went through. Okay, and that's one source of trauma. And if you believe in reincarnation, then you also know that a lot of us have built up karmic patterns recently that had a lot to do with dogmatism and actually warfare. And that's another source of trauma, which is pretty has a strong impact on our well-being and our health. And then also, there's another source of trauma. I'm sorry to say this to you all. It shocked me, partly because I went through it myself, and I was not aware of it. Is that even 2 weeks after, 2 weeks in the womb of your mother, 2 weeks after gestation starts, you can be traumatized. If your mother thinks about aborting you for whatever reason, you can experience that and be traumatized by just your mother thinking about that. And if your parents were not that, let's say if they were not that nice to each other, then you experience trauma throughout the entire pregnancy. And then there's early childhood trauma, of course, which a lot of us went through. And also, if you are a child of trauma and you enter life and become an adult, I put that in quotation marks, it could be you can enter a dysfunctional relationship and then continue with this chain of trauma by traumatizing each other as in a relationship. So that's what I'm going to go into starting Friday evening online and here in Ondex with about a 2 or 3 hour session on Friday, continuing on Saturday, and then going into Sunday. And what we're going to look into are not only the sources of trauma, but also how we can actually be freed of trauma. Trauma can be transformed rather quickly because of the uniqueness of our time. You could even say a lot of us are traumatized because of this thing with COVID, which is probably true, because of the tensions that it created between people, and also because of the masks and the whatever. And so I'm going to be teaching, I'm going to be talking a lot about the sources of trauma, especially some work that they've done recently, since Dasklos passed over, by the way, when they discovered the importance of the polyvagal nerve, which is back here. Stephen Porges was the one who really discovered it in 1995 or 96, shortly after Dasklos passed over. And it's revolutionized healing, it's revolutionized psychotherapy, and actually it should revolutionize medicine. Because once we are aware of the polyvagal nerve and what it does to, what it suffers as trauma, and then how it affects all the organs and the dialogue between the organs and the brain stem, then we become dependent on psychopharmaca. We become dependent on medicine. We become dependent on the pharmaceutical industry. And as a healer, I must say that I've integrated every hands-on healing to include laying my hands on the polyvagal nerve, with great success, by the way. So if you have time to take part, you will definitely, I would say you would definitely benefit from it. You might even be freed over the 2.5-day workshop from trauma, because once you become aware of your own trauma, then the door is wide open that this trauma can be then transcended or transformed rather quickly. Okay? I'm going to film the sessions, so if you don't have time, if you live in a time zone like in North America, where you can't, you have to wake up in the middle of the night to take part in the Saturday, Sunday sessions, and it'll be filmed, and you can watch it online. You can find out more by visiting our website, theosis.com, and I look so much forward to actually teaching this in English after going through it in German. Okay, folks? So it was originally planned for Denmark, but it's the summertime in Denmark, and people, even though people are back from their holidays, some people, and the Danes are no exceptions, don't want to look at trauma. And if you don't look at trauma, it doesn't go away. You need to look at it. You really do, you know. Even in my time with Dasklus probably never once mentioned the word trauma. And I understand why, because it wasn't considered, it didn't have anything to do with spirituality, but it has everything to do with spirituality. All right? So please visit my website, or if you want to write us, you'll get a program. And I hope to see you Friday evening, going through the weekend, and let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, thanks. Take care.